Alright, so a couple of days ago we talked about how Claire could be coming back soon, and more the case that people want to see her back into the series as soon as possible. It's been a long time, and there's other characters like it. Again, Jill hasn't been in the series for a while, and I've made a video about that previously. And obviously the Claire video came out a couple of days ago, and we talked about what it could do in terms of reintroducing a character into the series for a good reason. And now we're going to look at Leon, because Leon also hasn't been in it for a while. Not as long as Claire. I think his last appearance, canonically, was in the Resident Evil Vendetta animated show, or animated film, which, in timeline, is set after 6, I think. So, a little bit more recent than Claire, but still quite a long time ago. So, I'm going to go over the idea of what I have and how he could be reintroduced, and we'll see what happens from there. So first and foremost, obviously his next video game appearance is most likely going to be the 4 remake. Maybe Outrage. There's a lot of talk going around that with this Outrage game, this Revelations 3, whatever you want to call it, you play as Rebecca as the main character, but obviously in Revelations 1 and 2, you do bounce between characters, and especially in the second one, it was more of a co-op experience. There was 2 characters all the time. It was Claire and Moira Byrne, who's Barry's daughter, and then Barry and Natalia, I think her name was, the little girl. And you'd each play as one of those characters, and apparently, the pairing for Outrage is Rebecca and Leon. I believe this is the first time they'll meet as well, after the Vendetta show. So maybe they'll reference that as well in that game, if that ends up being the case. And another interesting thing to keep in mind is apparently, and this again, I don't think this is 100% guaranteed, it's set between 7 and 8, or 8 and 9. Obviously, again, with the Revelations games, they're bridge games. They kind of add a filler story between the mainline franchises. And this one is between either 7 and 8 or 8 and 9. I don't think anyone's 100% sure yet. But even so, it's quite recent, and it should kind of link up to things that are currently going on with the game, with the BSAA being all kinds of weird, and the connections being involved, which I believe the next game should prioritise a little bit more, because again, they kind of caused all this to happen, and we haven't really seen a whole lot of them yet. There's been files and a single DLC about them, but that's about it. But aside from things that we know of, being the 4 remake and the rumours we have around Outrage, I think Leon would be a good way to kind of start up a new plotline after 9. 9, again, I think I said this in the other video, 9 is the conclusion of the Ethan storyline. They wanted to make that a trilogy, and 8 has closed off some strands of story from 7, and I'd imagine that 9 will close off what happens at the end of 8, and then it'll be closed up fully then. And then the perfect opportunity is then there to kind of reintroduce an old character or have them alongside new characters. And what better person than Leon? Leon is not a member of STARS. He was just in the police at that point. I don't think he's part of the BSAA. I don't think he got involved with it, because obviously in 4 and 6 he's kind of like secret. He's kind of like special service. He's protecting the president and stuff like that. He's kind of works separately to them, and it's a different angle to go at, because he just kind of work more by himself. So it could be a different direction to go in that would be pretty interesting to see. Of course, there's also the kind of fan demand to see Leon and Claire working together again, because I think out of every single pairing of characters in the series, people want them to kind of get together. Which is, it's understandable. Like, I understand it, and there's a lot of memes around it as well, which is fucking hilarious at times. So that would be a really good way to kind of add some fan service to the next game and have those two kind of meet up again. The same thing can be said for Chris and Jill as well, so that's always a potential to be seen in the future. But yeah, my personal idea, my big idea for Leon is have him have his own game, so it's just him. You know, no new characters, no other old characters, just him. Kind of like RE4, but maybe don't add Ada to it. And he's investigating a new kind of virus that's been maybe distributed by the connections or something like that, so it's not entirely its own thing, but it is at the same time, because it doesn't mention anything else. Be fully horror. Again, I've had this kind of thing in my mind where they should give you the option to play in first or third, because I think it works really well regardless. I think first person perspective in 7 and 8 is really good. I think the third person over shoulder in 2R and 3R is really good. So give me the option to kind of jump between them, because I'm sure that would even I'm sure that would work in Village as well if Ethan had a head. You know, if they actually had his character have a head. Obviously in 7 there's a kind of out of bounds kind of camera angles you can get to where it's just his body and no head, because it's a first person game. Obviously they did add his head into Village, but it was still locked to first person. And there is a rumour going around recently that one of the things they're going to add to Village is a third person perspective option, which is pretty cool. But yeah, give me in the future game, I would like the choice to kind of jump between the two. I know that's probably going to add a lot more kind of development to the game. I don't really know how games are made, so I couldn't tell you how long it would take to do that. But yeah, give me an option to switch between them, because it's pretty cool to have the option there. Other games do it. But yeah, standalone game for Leon, horror focused. Maybe a return to actual zombies. You know, no molded, no Magini, no Ganados, no nothing like that. Nothing like that. Just zombies, like the beginning of Resident Evil 6. You know, and it was just zombies and it was kind of spooky, but at the same time it was action packed. You know, like that, but horror focused zombie game with Leon. That would be cool. And then again, you could have kind of the story and that link up to what's currently going on, because maybe this game wouldn't be like Resident Evil 10 or 11 or whatever it is. Maybe it's just called Resident Evil insert name. You know, it could be something. It could be a bridge game, it could be a spin-off, who knows. But that's my idea. A standalone Leon game, a horror game, and actual zombies again would be pretty cool to see. But of course that's just my idea. I'm sure there's people out there who have, you know, many ideas. In fact, recently, you know, I've had the opportunity in streams and in comments on videos to speak to people, you know, and see people's opinions about what could be coming or what could have been or anything like that. And it's always interesting to see different people's ideas. And I always encourage people, you know, in streams when I'm streaming and people talk about it, or, you know, in YouTube comments all the time, you know, just throw your ideas out there, because I don't think anyone's gonna judge you for it, because we're all kind of invested in the games. I think at this point we're on like the 8th installment alongside many other different spin-offs. I think we're all kind of invested in it, so just throw some ideas out there, you know, like, and if anyone says, oh, it's terrible, who cares, man, like, own it, just own that shit, dude. But that's my idea. A horror game with a choice between first and third person perspective, Leon only, so no other characters, just him. Obviously characters in the game, but no returning characters that we already know of, just him. And yeah, zombies. Actual zombies would be pretty cool to see. But that's going to do it for this one. I do have some ideas for kind of what ifs. I think I've done one in the past about Ethan and Heisenberg, but there's one I want to bring up soon, which I might do next week or so. But in terms of returning characters, we have a few left. Ada being one. That's more a case of going over her involvement in Village and what it could have been, because we do know what she was going to do. But you know, we all know the character. We all know who she is and what she does. So maybe she will have some involvement with the connections in the future, because the connections are pretty shady people. And they are kind of low-key old umbrella because of who's in charge of them and what they do. So maybe she's involved in that in some way. But that'll do for now. Thank you all for coming by, as always. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And do subscribe for more Resident Evil and survival horror stuff. And I'll catch you all tomorrow for a brand new video, as always. And this should be going up after a stream, so thank you all for tuning in today and hanging out. Appreciate it. But yeah, I'll see you next time.